In this episode, one-off Mercedes AMG, Hertz and Shelby collab, and the 2023 Range Rover Sport. Welcome to episode 65 of the We Are Auto Show. How are you, Derek?
Mr. Mike Corral, I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm a bit nasally, but I feel great.
You do sound a bit nasally. Hopefully you're not getting sick.
I don't feel sick. I just feel nasally. It's really annoying.
Yeah, but I'd rather have that than getting sick.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel great. I mean, we still ran a couple miles. Like, it's, just the way it is.
Oh, heck yeah. And you just finished up your workout program, right?
I did. So now I'm binging all the cookies and the wines and the beers that I couldn't have for the past 75 days.
Perfect.
But I think it's time we get into some news. Sound good?
Think so?
Okay. So let's start off with some Mercedes news. So there's this new one-off Mercedes that's been circulating around the internet, the interwebs, the gram, the Facebooks, the Twitters, and I'm not so sure about this thing. Yeah, so there's a collab between Mercedes-Benz AMG and a rapper artist called Will.i.am. William, which, I love that little play on it right there. But they did this one-off AMG GT. Now, it's a little weird. And they call it the Will.i.amg, right? It's the Will.i.amg.
I see.
And Will.i.am is actually, he's one of the founding members of the Black Eyed Peas.
Okay.
So, the group that,
Yep.
you know what we're talking about. But what they did is they took this AMG GT63 four-door sedan, like the super hot AMG GT sedan, and they went all sorts of custom with it. They actually brought it to the famous shop that did all the custom work for the old show called Pimp My Ride.
Oh,
You remember that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, when Exhibit was like the host and the
Right.
tagline was always, "Yo, dog, we heard you like blank, so we gave you blank with blank." Yeah. So,
Overdid everything.
Yeah. So
But that was their thing. It was awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as a young budding car guy, that was like so cool. Like,
Right.
Yo, dog, we heard you like to watch TV. So we put a TV in every panel of your car so you could watch TV while you're driving. Right? So the folks over at West Coast Customs, along with Will.i.am, took this four-door AMG GT and made it two doors.
Whoa.
So they lopped a couple of doors off. But then it gets weirder because they hinged the two doors from the rear like suicide doors, so they go the wrong way open versus the right way open, right? Which, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the picture where he's spread his arms and you can see the doors opening kind of the wrong way, right? And then I think maybe the weirdest part about this whole car is the fact that they put the face off of a G-Wagon on it.
It does look really weird. Really, really weird.
Yeah, No.
It doesn't work for me. I don't think it works for you.
No.
I could see Lewis Hamilton driving this.
Well, it doesn't have enough piercings for him.
Some foreshadowing for racing news. It's odd.
Yeah.
I like the uniqueness of it. I kind of like the door idea. I almost wish that other cars would do this with the doors. It would be interesting to get out of a car and go forward, as opposed to getting out of the car, backing up to have to go around the door to go forward.
I see your point.
Yeah. Could be kind of cool.
Yeah. Would it be kind of cool on a Civic?
If all other Civics had it, yeah.
I see your point.
but they don't. So no, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Would this be rice or nice?
This would be rice.
Yeah, I agree.
I like we're getting back into the rice or nice segment here.
Right.
Yeah. I don't like it.
No. No.
I do like the reasoning behind it, though.
Yeah.
Because,
as a concept, it's cool.
Well, yes, not just the doors, but the actual philanthropic reason why they built this car. So the original plan for them was to auction the car once it's finished and then use the proceeds to fund between 50 to 100 robotics programs with 10 to 20 like inner city kids in those programs. So it's got a philanthropic kind of background to it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is kind of cool.
No, that's awesome.
But I don't like it.
Huh.
I think it's ugly.
It is ugly.
It's like a square peg in the front and a round hole in the rear, and it just doesn't.
And weird doors in the middle.
It did.
I don't know, man.
And they put these AMG monoblock wheels on it that just seem. It's just gaudy.
For a long time, since like MTV and music videos, right? Mm-hmm. If you're in that industry, you just have to stand out, which means you have to be odd. Because normal isn't entertaining in that industry.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the way to stand out.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's a certainly unique car.
Yeah, not something I'm going to be putting a bid on. That's for sure.
Same.
But let's get away from Mercedes and let's go into something else with a big, ridiculous V8 in it, shall we?
This sounds much more up our alley.
Yes. So there's another collab. I guess this is an episode of collabs, right? Okay. But Shelby, as in like Ford, Shelby Cobra, Shelby Mustang, right?
Shelby.
That Carroll Shelby, correct. That Shelby. They've teamed up with Hertz once again, and they've done something a little bit extravagant.
Hertz teams up with a lot of manufacturers, don't they?
They do.
Because they just teamed up with Tesla. They bought a whole bunch of Model 3s or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I've heard other articles that they've done this with many other manufacturers. And I don't think this is the first time they've done it with Ford either.
Correct. Ford and Shelby, more specifically, actually teamed up with Hertz back in 1966 to originally create the Shelby GT350H, which back in the day was this kind of special performance Mustang that Hertz called, are you ready for this? Rent-A-Racer.
Ooh. Rent a race car.
Yeah, Rent-A-Racer. I like that. That's cool. I like it.
That's right up our alley.
Yep. But let's talk about the new Shelby Hertz collab here.
Okay.
So Shelby and Hertz are teaming up to build these crazy extravagant new Mustangs. They're doing a hotter version of the GT500, and they're also doing something called the GTH. So let's start with the more tame one of the two, and then we'll work our way into the excitement. So the GTH, that's the tamer, more mild, more livable one of the two that they're building. But the GTH is essentially like a Mustang GT, so the 5.2 liter, or 5 liter, pardon me, not 5.2, 5 liter Coyote V8 that's in the standard Mustang GT. They've kind of hopped it up with an exhaust and some extra hood vents and stuff, and they've made this GTH that's I think we see pictures of it a little further down with white and gold. It's kind of a cool looking Mustang. I like it with that like roll bar on the convertible. I think it looks kind of cool. But the GTH is less crazy.
That's the tame one.
That's the tame one. Yeah.
Okay.
You ready to get into the less tame?
The spicy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're doing something called the Shelby GT500H for Hertz, right? So the GT500H is pretty special and exciting because what it does is it takes the regular 5.2 liter V8 in the Shelby GT500, and that regular GT500 makes about 760-ish horsepower.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of horsepower. But with Hertz, it makes 900.
Huh?
Yeah, baby.
Whoa. How much? So we drove what did we drive?
GT350.
How much horsepower is a GT350?
I believe that's 500
5 to 6.
Yep.
That was a lot of power.
That was a lot of power, yeah.
It was quick.
Very.
Adding another 400 horsepower on top of that seems obnoxious.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems wonderful.
It seems like it would eat tires.
It seems unusable and lovable.
You could put it that way.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
That's the way I put it. Now, it achieves this 900 horsepower plus rating through the use of a added 3.8 liter Whipple supercharger.
Huh.
So they put a supercharger on it that's got more displacement than most standard cars.
Yeah, that's almost 2 of my engines.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. It's just so cool. It's just a tuned, fancy GT500 that's just super, super hot. I think it's awesome.
They're gonna allow you to rent this?
Yeah.
Oh. What?
How cool is it?
Wow.
I love it.
I wonder. Do you think this will be any good on a road race track?
No.
Do you think that people will rent it and bring it to a drag strip?
Yes.
Okay. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. And I think that's the correct way to do it.
I hope they do it. I
It's
would
cool.
love to.
Is this similar to what they did back in the day?
Kind of, sort of, from what I can tell. Yeah,
okay.
Kind of, sort of. It's really cool. So they're not going to have this available in all Hertz locations, right? So only at certain Hertz's can you rent the GT500H and the GTH. So the GT500H can be rented in Las Vegas, Phoenix, and 4 Florida locations, which are Tampa, Miami, Orlando, and Fort Myers, which means we're pretty damn close to one.
We are.
Or 2, or 3. We may need to go find
boy.
a GT500H.
We might want to hit up our boys with their GT350 and
Yeah.
see if we can collab something.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you could rent the GT500H if you're around any of the big cities in Florida, it sounds like. Or in Vegas or Phoenix.
Where would we take it?
Where wouldn't we take it? Let's be real.
True.
Like, Freedom Factory #1, of course.
Fitting.
Yeah. And then just everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. But the GTH, the more tame one, that's going to be available in a lot more locations. That'll be available in Atlanta, Dallas, Las Vegas, LA, Phoenix, San Diego, San Francisco, and the same 4 Florida locations, and also Fort Lauderdale.
So it sounds to me like these are very limited. They're not going to make a ton of these. They're going to be specifically for Hertz, probably with I don't really see a ton of Hertz badging on the side of them. There could be something down here. I'm not sure. I can't really tell. But with the allocations that that it sounds like they're going to get, it's going to be a very limited, probably 1 at each location, and you're going to have to schedule out in advance to get one of these.
Yeah, probably.
Interesting.
But doesn't it look fun?
It does.
I'd love for us to rent a GT500H and the GTH and swap back and forth and just compare the tamer to the not tame.
Right.
Just looks like fun.
That would be fun.
How do you not want a 900 horsepower Mustang?
That's so much power. I cannot imagine that the tires stick to the ground.
No way.
No.
You're gonna spin through probably 4 gears at least.
And it's a Mustang. It's only rear-wheel drive.
Correct.
So yeah, there's no way.
I love it.
It's cool. I'm glad that a rental car company is still doing these race car-esque rental options for normal people.
Yeah.
And I bet you over time, this will fade away. This might be one of the last times we see this.
With a big rental company, yes. But here comes Turo, right? Where you can rent out your own car. And if we were going on a trip to go watch a race somewhere, say mid-Ohio this weekend, we could look at Turo and say, oh, looks like there's a 911 for rent, a BMW M3, and a Ford Mustang Shelby GT350, right? Same idea, but this is the corporate market versus the private market.
Yeah.
It's like Uber versus a standard taxi, right?
Makes me think.
You start thinking a lot.
Uh-huh.
I don't think as much.
No, this is cool. This is really neat.
Agreed. So, ready to move on?
I think we should.
All right. So, a lot of V8 news.
Indeed.
I like this. This is good. So, the next news article we want to chat about is about a V8 in a Range Rover.
Oh, a Range Rover.
So we know that Range Rover has always had that same big, lumping, great 5-liter V8.
Yes.
I've got good news and bad news.
Hit me with the bad news.
Bad news. The 5-liter V8 is gone.
What about the good news?
The good news, they're keeping a V8, but it's now a turbocharged 4.4-liter V8.
Okay. That's meh news.
Meh. Agree. Because it's not going to sound the same.
No.
And have you ever heard a Range Rover Sport, SVR especially, go full chat right next to you?
It does sound good.
Very good. It sounds like a Spitfire.
Yes.
It's just so good. Oh, I heard a Jag the other day next to me that shares a very similar 5-liter V8. And he just went hard. And I just thought, man, that is such a good noise. And it's a Jag. And this would be a Range, right? But the 5-liter V8's gone, replaced with a 4.4-liter turbocharged V8 in the 2023 Range Rover Sport. And I'm not stoked that the 5-liter V8's gone, but I am stoked they're keeping the V8. But I'm not stoked about what's replacing all the base models.
Tell me more.
Okay. So your base model 2023 Range Rover Sports are going to come with a 3-liter inline 6 hybrid.
What? An inline 6? That's a weird engine.
I don't like that.
No, that's
the wrong thing for a Range Rover.
Go 4 or go 8. Don't go inline 6.
Yeah,
everything's off balance.
It's just the wrong thing for a Range Rover.
Yeah, that's odd.
You don't do that to a Range. No. But the base 3-liter hybrid inline 6 makes 355 horsepower and 369 torques. Not a lot.
No. For the weight that vehicle is going to be, that's not a lot.
For the weight and the money, which we'll get into in a moment.
Oh, boy.
And then if you go up to the next kind of range, where you go to what's called the P400 badge, which I don't really know what that gives you other than the fact that you get 395 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. It just gives you some more, but it just sounds like a Tesla with the P400. I don't know.
So it went up by like 60 horsepower or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then the next kind of engine drivetrain trim level above the P400 is a plug-in hybrid 6-cylinder.
Wait, so we had a hybrid inline 4.
So
now we have a plug-in.
I'm gonna do a little quote here, air quotes, mild, air quote end, mild hybrid with the inline 6.
A mild hybrid? What does that mean?
It means how much hybrid do you want? A little hybrid or a lot hybrid?
I want Verde. Mild? That has never been a measurement of hybrid ever.
Yeah. Well, you're ordering buffalo sauce at the restaurant. Do you like mild, medium, or hot? I'd like mild, please.
I guess. Okay, what does my hot hybrid get me?
Your hot hybrid gets you 434 horsepower with a hell of a lot more torque. 619 torques.
Oh, okay.
That's
getting spicy.
Dude. That's a lot.
I'll take another water.
So that's actually more torque than the turbo V8.
Whoa.
So the 4.4 liter turbocharged V8 is developing 523 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. So it's the most horsepowers, but not the most torques.
Huh.
So do you want a hot rod, or do you want something that's going to tow a canoe to the lake?
I don't know. I think I'd rather take the horsepower over the torque.
Me too.
Because you're going to use the horsepower more often.
Horsepower is the answer to everything, Derek.
Would you use the horsepower more often?
I would, because I'd be wide open throttle everywhere I went.
Yeah, but if you're racing light to light, like debatably the torque could be more valuable.
Well, it depends how far your lights are.
Yes. Yeah. Interesting.
So I mentioned price earlier and how the base model has not enough number for the price. You ready?
I'm ready.
The base model 2023 Range Rover Sport starts at $84,350.
So 90.
That's a $90,000 SUV that gives you 355 horsepower.
No
way.
way.
$40,000 Nissan Z gives you 400 horsepower.
No way. 90 grand.
Oh, damn near it.
To be competitive, that has to come in at 60 grand.
That's a $65,000 SUV.
To be comparable to an Audi, a BMW, around those numbers.
It's not enough power for the money.
No.
That's ridiculous. It's just badge.
Unless there's some insane interior. But there's no way there's a $30,000 difference of an interior.
No way.
Not over good German manufacturers.
No way. It's crazy.
Okay. Well, now we're going to go north, aren't we? Because we're going to get more performance.
Because the hot rod, the 4.4 liter turbo V8, that is starting at $122,000.
For how? What are the numbers?
$122,850 for the V8 for the hot rod.
Will get you 600 horsepower,
523 horsepower,
and then the 500 torque.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. This is not good.
Yikes.
There will be people that buy this.
Well, of course, because it's a Range Rover.
Yes, because they're British, and that's all they're going to look at. But is there a Jag that would compete in this?
Because that's Jag. Was it F-Pace?
Yeah, and they have a hybrid or an EV Jag.
I think so.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
It's not
just
good.
Based on the price. I don't like it.
It's horrible for the price.
Yeah. That's insane.
It's stupid. It's just so dumb.
120, which will be 140 after dealer fees and taxes and.
Yes, would you? And then with this market and the markup, would you like a $150,000 Range Rover Sport that gives you 523 horsepower?
Oh no,
that's horrible.
Wow.
No.
Sadly, they will sell.
Some poor sucker is going to buy an $85,000 Range Rover that only makes 350 horsepower.
Yeah, but they'll be totally oblivious to the rest of the market.
Correct.
Good.
And they
exist.
Yeah, it's. Ugh.
And the sad part is they won't be told by anyone that they messed up. And here's your other option.
Yeah, that they bought the wrong car.
Yeah. And here are 3 better options.
Yeah. Yes. 18,000 better options, I think. I mean, oh my God, it's just not enough. It's the most amount of money for the least amount of performance just because it says Range Rover.
It was all good until you gave me the price numbers.
At 65 grand, sure.
Yeah.
At 85 grand, not a chance in hell.
At 120? What?
Nope.
How did it go from 80 to 120 when you only added 200 horsepower anyway? Huh?
It's Range Rover.
Yikes. Okay.
All right. Well, that's all I got for news. Do you have anything else you want to cover?
No, I think that wraps it up for the news.
All right, so then that's going to wrap us up for episode 65. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, leave us a thumbs up, and drop a comment on this video. Would love to chat with you there. If you're listening on audio, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and a review on whatever platform you listen to. And now, if you haven't yet, make sure you're following us on social. Facebook's We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. Don't forget about that underscore at the end there. YouTube's We Are Auto. Our website, which we are starting to update more often, is weareauto.io. And while you're at it, send us your I wish they would haves and any other news articles you'd love to hear us chat about. Thanks so much for watching and listening again, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.